guys, welcome to the Cat Scrappiness YouTube channel. This is Joe. So today's card I'll be using the embossed edge rectangle dies, the Crafter's Essentials 1, mainly the star and also the stitch rectangle die. Lastly, the newest released You Rock word die with shadow and silver jewels. So let's get started. So here is the base of my card on white cardstock. It's A2 size, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I got some pattern paper and I used the largest rectangle die in the embossed edge rectangle die set. Here is the new release You Rock word die with shadow. So I'm just layering the two dies together so I can get an idea of where the shadow and the word die sits on my card. That is the image from the greeting farm. His name is Tank. So that's the image I'll be using. So here I'm just trying to line up the word and the shadow die and also the image so I know where to cut out the opening for my shaker card. So here's a tip: if you just turn your dies upside down, it'll be basically right side up when you cut it, and then you can kind of get an idea where to line up your dies to cut the opening. And then so I'm just gonna run it through my cutting machine there, and then now I'll have the right placement of the opening so I can save that other piece for a different project. So here I'm just going to center that cardstock so I know where to place the sentiment You Rock. I cut it out of black cardstock and I am going to align it up with the window opening. I placed the words, the die cut words, on some Glad press-in seal so that's easier for me to place my sentiment. So I just used some temporary purple tape there, and then I applied some liquid glue on the back of my sentiment. Here you can see I'm trying to get the correct placement for the You Rock sentiment, and then I go ahead and apply pressure to the press-in seal so that the words are stuck on my project. And then I go ahead and peel it off and it's perfect. So after that I go ahead and measure and attach some clear acetate sheet to that shadow window there for my shaker, and then I'm just going to apply some liquid glue around the outside of the shadow so that it's nice and sealed and none of the shaker bits will fall out. So I go ahead and apply the acetate sheet, making sure there's no excess sticking out, and if there is I go ahead and just trim it off, and then I just wipe off some excess glue that kind of leaked through the paper, but turns out okay. So yeah, so that is the front of the window card, and then now I'm going to go ahead and glue the other elements on the front of the window. So here I take that stitch star die and I use some yellow glitter cardstock. This was from a previous project, but I had some left over. But yeah, so here I'm just trying to figure out where I want to place the stars, trying to make sure that it's all nice and lined up with the sentiment, and it's not really blocking the words. So again, here's some liquid glue. I put it on the right corner of the You sentiment, and then on the left above his head, and then on the bottom right of his foot. So that's where the stars go, and then lastly I go ahead and adhere him to the front of the window. Okay, so now I'm ready to finish off this shaker card. I go ahead and get some 1/4 inch foam adhesive tape and apply it to the back of that window there, around the perimeter, and then also just to cut off that shadow die so the shaker bits don't have to move around too much. So here are the silver jewels from Cat Scrappiness that I'm going to be using in the shaker portion of the card, and then I go ahead and make sure that all of them are flipped right side up. Here I have in my stash some gold mini stars to go along with that card there, and I think it's a perfect match to go with the stitch star elements that I have on the front. So here I just add a little bit more silver jewels. Okay, so then I'm pretty much ready to seal up the card. I take off the adhesive backing to my window shaker there, and then I just carefully line it up with the You Rock sentiment, making sure that all of the edges are evenly spaced on the card. To make it easier for me to line up the window on the front of the card, I just put some more of that temporary adhesive purple tape so that the card is closed and level. So here I go ahead and commit to placing that window on my card base and making sure that I'm pressing all the edges so that none of the jewels or stars fall out. Lastly, to finish off the card, I get more silver jewels, and I usually put 3 on the corner, so there's 1, 2, 3, and that completes the card. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video today using the new release You Rock sentiment with shadow dye, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.